Hi, I'm Wendell G. Welcome back to the Moscow Mules of the World Baseball League from Utopia. Thanks, you guys. I really appreciate the warm welcome. And, honestly, I really appreciate the warm welcome. I had to leave the Utopia Baseball League as much as I loved it. I just had, my brain was going 60 different directions and I had to drop something. And the UBL was one of the things I had to drop. So I'm glad to be back, and I really appreciate you guys a lot. So Moscow Mules. I haven't played with OOTP 15 before this. I had dusted off my old Milwaukee Brewers, Braves to Brewers dynasty to sort of get my feet back wet with OOTP. It's been over a year since I actually loaded up OOTP. In fact, I had largely deleted it off of my computer. And but I've realized of late I have become I've been focusing on games. I've been doing a lot of games, and why not out of the park baseball? It's a lot more cerebral than a lot of games, and for me it's rewarding. It's a lot of fun. Well, I guess just straight and level, no role play, no character here. What I wanted to do when I first joined up, I had a lot of players coming off of contract, and I wanted to renegotiate and grab them back to contract. So basically, what I did was I went to everybody of value, and I did whatever was necessary to bring them back on board. And I probably fleeced myself a couple of times. In fact, I know I did. But to start with, you want to stop the bleeding. You want to stabilize the patient and figure out what's going on, see what you got, and that's kind of what I did. So let me take you back through my transactions. We'll just start back in November. Well, first thing I did. This was a mistake. This was a mistake. Look at this. Oh my goodness. I put the AI in charge of my minor leagues, promotions and demotions, and the AI kind of went nuts. And I released a bunch of guys from my AA and AAA and single A teams, and then here comes the AI promoting people up through the system. I'm kind of divided on that. I probably am going to leave the AI in charge of the minor league promotion and demotion, because Gator did something that I really thought was really smart. He gave everybody a year, maybe 2 years max, at one level, and he pushed them all up as a class, as a unit. And if they couldn't survive at the next level, he cut them. It's ruthless. I think it's a good idea. I do think it's a good idea. I also think that soft age limits are a good idea too. Like if you got a guy at single A who's 24 years old, move him up to double A. If he can't handle it, cut him. Because by the time he's 24, the guy needs to be right on the edge of the big leagues. You know what I mean? Because he's going to be dropping off. When he is 30, something's going to be given. And OOTP mirrors reality enough to know that, guys are going to be starting to fall off the edge when they get in their 30s. So you want a guy who is pretty much close to WBL ready around age 24, if not sooner. So if he's still farting around in single A, he can't cut double A, cut him. If he's 25 in double A, kind of farting around, not doing much, either move him up to triple A or just cut him outright. I think I would take the option of moving him up to triple A if you got room before you cut him, because sometimes a guy thrives on better competition. And then the guys in AAA. AAA sort of acts as an extension of the roster, so it's got its own different rules. So, you might have guys who are in their 30s in AAA, and they're just kind of waiting on, if something happens on your major league roster, sometimes you need a guy in AAA, like particularly pitchers and catchers. And maybe a utility infielder and a utility outfielder. So those four positions, those four specific positions: catcher, pitcher, utility infielder, utility outfielder. And the pitcher could be, you might have, your 7th and 8th starting pitcher. The 7th and 8th guys in your rotation might be in AAA. Your 7th, 8th, and 9th guys for the bullpen might be in AAA. So AAA, I kind of use it as kind of a slosh bucket for guys who I can call up, who I'm okay calling up to the bigs if I need to. Okay, enough yakking. I cut a bunch of guys off my AAA teams, and the CEO promptly pulled a bunch of guys up to the big league roster for roster expansion. One of my AAA guys retired because he was, I forget, he's now Jim Unknown, but our player purge process has taken care of him. But he was kind of old, and he saw the writing on the wall, and he retired. So my first real action as a general manager of the Moscow Mules, which is a very successful team, by the way. I've got a lot of money to mess with. I've used up most of it already as I speak on February 4th, 2043. I've used up most of my money I can use to sign free agents. I have a lot of contract extension money available, and I decided to use that contract extension money. First thing I did was I signed 6 guys to extensions, and some of these guys were good signs, good extensions, and some of them were just get me through the next year or two until I get my sea legs under me. I signed Noel Abbott to a 4-year extension. I like Abbott. He has worked out of the bullpen for us, and he could start for us. He could actually start some games. He only started 2 games last year, and he did pretty decent. 3.66 ERA, 1.28 WHIP. I like this guy. Positive ERA plus, plus 100 ERA plus, and a positive WAR. Working on my second glass of wine here, so if I'm stumbling over words, please forgive. I signed one of my starting outfielders, Valdene Kustance, to a 4-year contract at $5 million a year, and I thought it was a good signing. I like this guy. He's a easy choice for a starting outfielder for us. Great right fielder, good left fielder. He can even swing over and play center field, and he can play first base a little bit for us. You can see right now I've got him slotted for left field. That's because I got another guy slotted in right. Donald Mason, 5-year contract at $25 million. Oh, baby, I love this guy, man. Age 27. Maybe. You can see the OSA scouts love this guy. Something amazing. So I was really surprised. His ARB estimate for next year alone was $5.5 million, and 80% of that is like $4 million. I went ahead and offered him $5 million for 5 years. Dude took it. Color me happy. Very, very happy. He's got some amazing. His changeup will make a guy shit his britches while he's standing at the plate. The umpires hate this guy because that gets old after a while. So really like this guy. He is no doubt the ace of my rotation. 1.09 WHIP. His ERA is up there at 3.74. Win-loss 16-4. He's a winner. He just gets the job for us. Started 30 games for us this year. 194 innings. Oh, man, I love this guy. I love him. So, yeah. 12 strikeouts per 9 innings. 2 walks per 9 innings. 1 home run per 9 innings. What's not to like about this guy, man? Come on now. A WAR of 6.4. Oh, man. You talk about a guy you can build around. Sorry, I'm wetting my britches. Also signed this guy, Mizyan Assad. Although he's listed as a starting pitcher, and he can go as a starting pitcher for us, I think you see he started 0 games for us last year. He's probably going to slide into our bullpen, but he'll be an emergency rotation guy. He's durable. He's making $2 million this year, and can you believe it? He signed for $2 million for the next 3 years. So 4-year, $8 million contract. He's age 27. He's only rated 1.5 stars, And somehow I think the Stars calculate into their request for their salary requests. So anyway, in relief, he got 9 saves for us, went 2-3, 3.22 ERA, 1.33 WHIP. I like this guy. I think he's going to be a positive asset for us. So I thought he was a very positive sign. All these 4 guys were very positive signs. Now comes the self-fleecing. Sung Young Koo. This was a panic re-up. He's age 35. I gave him a 1-year deal at $15 million. And why? Because, well, mainly because he started 32 games for us. He cranked out the innings, 223 innings, a decent ERA, 3.63, and 1.28 WHIP. Good, solid numbers, 5.0 WAR. I want this guy until he demonstrates that he can't cut it. Now, he's one of the guys, he's only 1.5 star overall rating, but he's, with a $15 million salary, maybe that just goes against what I just said, but about stars and salary. But I like him. Now, the one that's really gotten me chinching myself is this Tadanobu Sasaki. He looks really strong. He's age 35. I went ahead and upped him 2 years. He's making $20 million this year, 2043. I went ahead and extended him 2 years at $18.8 million per year, mainly because I can afford it, but also because he's very popular locally. He generates the media revenue. He gets the feet in the stands, people in the stands, the butts in the stands. He's got great speed, good velocity, 93 miles an hour. And he's a ground ball pitcher. He's got good stamina. He holds runners well. He's a right-handed pitcher. This is a veteran. Shows some leadership. I want some leadership on the team. He's been just cranking out 200-plus innings for the past 5 years. So I wanted to keep this guy. Solid 6.1, 7.0, 6.3, 6.2, 6.2 WAR kind of a guy. Is he worth $20 million? Is he worth 18 next year, 18 the following year? We'll see. All right, we'll see. So, but I just wanted to stabilize. You see that all these guys I extended were starting pitching quality, and some of these guys might go in relief. Assad may go in relief. Abbott may possibly go in relief. But to me, it was very important to nail down my starting pitching. And also, I signed our everyday outfielder, Kustance, to an extension. Christoph Hotker, I did not offer him arbitration. He wanted $2.5, $2.8 million a year. And I was like, well, he's got the stamina to be a starting pitcher, but he's an extreme fly ball pitcher. And he's age 34. His ratings are dropping off the wall. And player development. Look at all these minuses. I just kind of use the eyeball check in ratings. If there are more pluses than minuses, that's good. If there are pluses evenly distributed, that's good. But if I start to see a lot of red coming up through here, red minuses, that's a good indicator, and especially going back in time. So I think this guy's fallen off, and so I did not offer him arbitration. I go on about that because I'm not sure I did the right thing in not offering arbitration. I'm still kind of mulling it over. I did not offer extensions to a number of guys, and I'm kind of wondering about why I didn't. Marzuk Saman, did not offer him arbitration and let him go. He was a minor leaguer all the way. AA guy, did not offer arbitration, let him go. Eric Holly. He's got outstanding defense, range, everything you want in a third baseman except a bat. And down at AA this year, he only hit 222. He hit 300 last year, but in very limited appearances. He had a lot of appearances this year, 205 appearances, plate appearances. Only hit 222. His overall WAR was minus 1.5, and that includes his defense. So, let him go. Eric Holly, hope you find another room. Herbert Moody. I had some question about this guy. I like him. Is he worth $1.6 million? I mean, absolute fantastic second, third, and short. Absolute fantastic middle infielder. But on a AAA team, he hit 295 last year, and that's really good. 295. He's never gotten in a big league at bat, and You know, maybe he's got a little bit left in the tank. He's age 27. Maybe he's got a little bit. You know, somebody could give him a try. I just kind of was. I kind of went by what my scout said, and I said, no, no, you're out, Moody. Gabriel Vectorvelt, old random. I love to keep him on. You see OSA, he's age 25. OSA has a big ceiling for this guy. Extreme ground ball pitcher, 95 to 97. He's only asking 400,000. But down in AAA, I kind of didn't believe this stuff because, you know, the 4.34 ERA is not so much an issue in my mind because it kind of is team defense dependent. But what does get my eye is he pitched 56 innings. He only gave up 9 home runs. That means he has good movement at the AAA level. He walked 32 guys out of 56 innings. So I kind of look for about a walk every other inning is okay. And he's probably 40 control. That's probably right because we're talking AAA numbers here. So he probably is 40 control. But I look for he's only got 2 pitches and he's age 25. I just don't see him growing into those numbers. But if you're out there and you're willing to take a chance on this guy, he's pretty good popularity. He's cheap. You know, you might give this guy a chance. Old random Vectorvelt. At least offer him a minor league contract, minor league free agents, and see what he says. You know, you got nothing to lose on a minor league free agent contract. So give old Gabe a try. Mahmoud Jamal, let him go. He is a borderline bullpen kind of a guy. He's got one good pitch, another pitch that's either coming in or falling off. He's a big guy, 6'5", age 26. He just wants a minor league contract. So down in our AAA team, he did pitch pretty well, 1.30 whip and a 3.40 ERA. So he's also worth a shot. Positive WAR, 1.6 WAR. So Jamal's worth a shot. I just needed to cut some guys. Ed Watson. He's another guy. He's a starter, borderline stamina for a starter. He's a fly ball pitcher with good velocity, 94 miles an hour. He's just looking for a minor league contract. He pitched, well, he did not have much luck. He made 30 starts down in AAA, 6.13 ERA and a 1.65 whip. These are not bad numbers, man. He had a positive WAR. His ERA plus was not so great. But, you know, this guy he's age 28. He might not be UBL ready, but, you know, he might be a good choice for a AAA club, you know, to bring up in the fall. Roster expansion and take some pressure off the starters. Signed a bunch of guys through automatic renewal. Bat Tui Tra became a free agent. I'm so glad because the dude was making a crap ton of money off of me. Where's my contract? 3-year contract worth $52 million. That's some serious pinochle right there. About $17 million a year. And as late as 2041, he was an all-star. His contact was falling off the edge of the cliff. However, his power was starting to fail a little bit. His eye starting to fail a little bit. He's age 39. You know, the dude, he might be worth it for some guys. He's wrecked. His injury history is wrecked. He wants a very small contract, $1.4 million, less than 10% of what he was making. In his last year on our club, he hit .238 with 18 home runs for a minus 0.4 WAR. He might be a DH kind of a guy if you have a club that gets a lot of guys on base and all you need is some home run pop. So he's a cheap alternative. And being the DH, maybe he doesn't have a lot of opportunity to get himself hurt. So he might be worth a check out. This guy, Cajones. I released him. He was on my major league club. Or I didn't release him. I just didn't extend him. His whip was okay, 1.40. He pitched 62 innings for us, and he was overpriced for. I felt like he was overpriced for the return we got on him. Not a bad pitcher. Age 31. He probably hit the cliff before other people did. 89 mile an hour velocity. Not the worst guy to have on your team, you know. Maybe a number 6 starting pitcher. Maybe a guy to plug in. Maybe a guy to, don't know if he'd take a minor league free agent contract, but he might. Okay, I'm going to wrap this up quick. Ryan Davis. I went back and forth on this guy. He looks good, but he's an extreme fly ball pitcher, and it doesn't stack up too well to WBL pitchers. His stuff in control looked good. His movement, maybe not so good. He's only asking $1.1 million. In his final year with us, Moscow, he played in AAA and had really good numbers in AAA. 3.86 ERA, 1.20 WHIP, and 119 innings, and he started 18 games down in AAA. He came up and played, worked out of the bullpen for us. He made 16 appearances and 25 innings, 1.54 WHIP, and 6.39 ERA. I didn't really feel like, for the kind of salary that he had, let's go look and see what it was. It was a significant salary. $2.6 million was what he made last year, and he was asking more than that this year. Didn't really think he was worth $2 million, but all he's asking right now is $1 million, so I think he's well worth $1 million. So, I mean, what do you got to lose? That's not a whole lot of money to spend. He might be better as a starter. The last time we used him as a starter, I guess Cairo had him as a starter. He kind of got lit up. He was okay in 2039, but in 2040, he pretty much got lit up. I'm trying to figure out why here, and it's hard to tell. He gave up a lot more walks as a reliever, it looks like to me. I don't know. Maybe not a bad guy to have. About a strikeout per inning, a walk every other inning, a home run every 6 innings. That ain't a bad ratio at all. But he gave up 29 hits. So maybe if he has a great defense around him, he gives up fewer hits. Maybe if he has a great outfield around him, he gives up fewer hits. Yeah. He needs guys with wheels to go catch down these fly balls he gives up. And maybe a small park. You know, this guy's definitely not a big park kind of a pitcher because the ball's going to be in the air. And so a small park kind of a pitcher. Ryan Davis would be a good guy for that. Moondog, he's 41, and that's it. That's exactly the reason I gave up on him. He was asking for way too much money for a reliever. He's got the stamina to start, but kind of didn't trust him starting. He appeared in 39 games for us last year, 4.95 ERA, 1.73 WHIP, and that was no fluke because he had a 1.72 WHIP with Berlin the year before with a 5.61 ERA. And I think these numbers here, 5.61 versus 4.95, are an indicator of the defense behind him. So he had a little bit better defense, I think, in Moscow than he did in Berlin. However, his value to the team dropped considerably. Wins against replacement was negative this year. Moondog, just hang it up, man. You need to retire. 41. And finally, Oliver Martinez. I kind of went back and forth on this guy. Should I sign him? Should I not? Should I extend him? Should I not? And he's 36. And he's a ground ball pitcher. Pretty low velocity of 89 miles an hour. 2 good pitches and a third pitch. Borderline starter with that stamina, but probably a reliever. And so in Moscow, in 63 appearances and 73 innings, he gave up 4 home runs. I think his movement is pretty much better than 60 movement. I think it's really good movement. He struck out 64 guys in 73 innings. Maybe his stuff is overrated just a tad, but not bad. Maybe a 60, 70. How many walks did he give up? 32 walks in 73 innings. Every other, yeah. I think control is 45, 50. So I think this guy's okay, you know. He's got 3 passable big league pitches and a crappy pitch, which can work sometimes. 3.67 ERA for us, and a 1.34 WHIP, 1.2 WAR. I think he was a pretty good guy. He could, in a pinch, he could go as a starter. So he's got the, borderline stuff. Probably 6 innings, 5 to 6 innings you could get out of him every few days, every 4 or 5 days, 5 or 6 days. Again, he'd be a pretty cheap option for a starting pitcher. Very cheap for a starting pitcher. He was asking considerably more than that, which is why I didn't extend him. Maybe I'm lying. He was making 2-year contract with a total of 1.64 million. Really? So he was making 820,000 a year. Oh, 1-year minor league contract. I feel like I'm missing something here. How'd I get a hold of him? The Belgorod Mallards. Oh, that's my team. So he was on a minor league contract. This guy might be all right. He's 4-time All-Star. A 4-time All-Star. And his numbers look solid for 2042. I'm looking at this now and I'm like, why didn't I extend this guy? You better beat me to it, because I might do it. I need some bullpen help. What would you want for a contract? 1.2 million? Would you take 800? Would you take 700? I sure hope that was a 1-year contract. Old dog. Is that it? I think that was it. Let's go back to November. We do anything in December? No, we signed a crappy international amateur. Another crappy international amateur in Belgorod. Oh, and here's where the AI went crazy. Oh, we got room in AAA. Let's send people up. No, you're doing it wrong, AI. All right, well, I just wanted to bring this video in under half an hour. Really, for the Moscow Mules, that's pretty much all I have done is messing around with my roster and trying to figure out where to what I want to do with this team. So the answer is I want to build a team that will compete, that will be in the playoffs, possibly the championship in 2043 this year, and 2044. So I'm looking for a 2-year window to be uber competitive, and then we'll just see what happens after that. A lot of money will come off the books after this year and after next year, and maybe by then I'll be a little bit more money smart. Right now I don't think I am money smart whatsoever, but let's ask bench coach for staff. But yeah, Abbott, our closer. I want to bring in a better closer and use Abbott as a long relief and number 6 guy in the rotation to kind of fill in. Many of these guys can actually go. What's our stamina? Why am I showing batting ratings? Let's go with pitching ratings. Yeah, many of these guys, my lowest stamina guy has a 40 stamina, so yeah. All right, well, that's pretty much it. And I guess I'll collect my thoughts and I will see you back again. International free agent signing has started. I probably don't have a prayer to sign anybody. I'm not going to throw as much money at them as many guys will. I remember back in the WBL, we would throw tens of millions at some of these international free agents. Because it was a way of basically buying a draft pick when you had extra money, pretty good thing to do with it. Yeah. Okay, guys. Well, hope you've enjoyed it, and leave me some feedback. Tell me what you'd like me to look at, and I will be happy to entertain your requests as always. I'm glad to be back with the Newtopia World Baseball League, and I'm looking forward to having some fun with you guys.